Yo, what's up guys? Let me tell you about this character. I wanted to bring that build for a long time and it's finally here. So it's a Frozen Arrow Amazon with the Ice Bow runeword. In terms of power level or tier list ranking or whatever, I'd say it's a build between fun and viable. Nevertheless, with Infinity, it's even able to farm players 8. High dense areas like Chaos and the new zones. Depending on the other gear, I can easily clear up to players 5 without the very expensive mercenary runeword. It's very different from the usual multi-shot Amazon, which heavily relies on enhanced damage. This variant, however, is all about elemental damage and plus skills, like a cold sorceress. More about that when I show you the gear in a second. When I power leveled this character back in Season 3, I had a specific task for this build in mind. I had around 10 character already who can farm Uber keys, Ubers, my magic find travel barb and so on. But I was like, I don't really farm the new zones that much and I would like to have a build just for that. And that's the build I came up with. I'll give you a brief overview about the gear, and specifically let's start with the weapon. So it's the Ice runeword. It gives a level 22 Frost Nova proc on striking, which just shatters everything into ice cubes, especially with Infinity. That's where almost most of the damage comes from, honestly. And it gives a level 18 Holy Freeze aura, which is basically the whole screen. This is not a hardcore character, but I think if I really ever wanted to really play hardcore in Diablo 2, this is one of the builds I absolutely want to play. Because after I equipped this bow, this character never ever died again. Because everything is just so slowed, perm freeze. Like the crowd control is so good. Even it says only in quotes a level 18 Holy Freeze. But it's almost, it's pretty much the whole screen. The most frequently asked questions I got was, like, there's two bows, right? Like you have the, like this one, Matriarchal bow, and the Grand Matron bow. Both are viable for Amazon runewords, because they come with through free to plus skills and stuff. The difference between the two. This base has less top-end damage, but the IIS frames are better. Okay? So it's less top-end damage, faster attack speed. The Grand Matron bow, which people like to use for Fate, for a multi-shot Amazon, has less attack speed, but higher top-end damage. That's the difference between those two bow bases. And I don't know the IS frames right off the top of my head, but the point is, you don't really care about physical damage in this build at all. So I'd rather use the faster base to deliver more freezing auras, right? So this base for this runeword, for this build, is 100% better and best in slot. Like, if somebody would use, I would not say it's wrong, because in my humble opinion, you can't even play a video game wrong, okay? But using a Grand Matron bow with ice on a BOWZON would be wrong, okay? I would not want to play that, honestly. Like, why would you? When you can use the faster base. So yeah, that's the reasoning behind the base. Just wanted to explain it for a second. Yeah, that's the weapon. In the other slot, of course, arrows. They increased this to 500. I think back in Love Structures it was like only 250. You can do the following. You can have a second stack here, but it's not really that necessary. I just get used to it. When I enter a new game, I just buy a new quiver. Jewelry. Highlights because of plus skills and IS to reach like the IS breakpoints. I have a SOJ here and a Ravenfrost here. Since I'm wearing a self-found Tyrael's Might, I could get rid of Ravenfrost and get another skill ring. Would increase the damage tremendously, because this is all about plus skills. More about in a second when I show you the skill tree. Razortail to get 100% pierce. I socketed rainbow facets in my gear, like for cold damage, right? Cold pierce is pretty strong with this build. For the same reason, I'm wearing a Nightwings. For the gloves, plus skills, IS, It was such a pain to trade for these gloves, man, because almost nobody is playing that. Yeah, IS and plus skills. Because that's pretty much what it's all about in this build in a nutshell. These gloves are the build in a nutshell. Other than that, I have some skiller. A Cold Rupture Grand Charm, very nice. Hits like a truck. Like, it's such a good combo. The item pieces work really well together. How dare you writing best in your thumbnail without wearing an Enigma? I'm above Enigma level gameplay. With that being said, yeah. Tura's Might is not good. Like, it's not a good armor in general. Let's be real here, okay? But I think it's the rarest armor in the game. That's the first time I found it in more than 20 plus years, Diablo 2. And yeah, the build deals cold damage. I have a blue helm, I have a blue aura, and now I have a blue armor, okay? So fuck Enigma. I would trade this nut for 5 Enigmas. You see what I'm saying? Best in slot though would be actually Enigma. For what build it isn't, right? Now I think best in slot would be Chains of Honor, actually. I tried all different kind of armors. I think you know this account. You know my account a little bit since, well, like when you are a regular viewer or when you watch other videos. I think I have pretty much every armor and I tried several. Yeah, to keep up with the Mercenary, or rather to keep up with the Aura. Enigma, I found it the best with Enigma. Even though several guides I've seen wrote that Chains of Honor is best in slot. But yeah, the character runs pretty fast though, and sometimes you run out of the range, right? It comes in handy to just click teleport. So you always have the aura active. Boots, Silk Weave, one of the huge downsides of this build, and there's almost no other workaround for it. Sustain. Sustain is a huge issue. Yeah, like Silk Weave helps a lot. Like mana after each kill is so good with this build. I mean, other than that, there's something in the game called Mana Potion, okay? But yeah, Sustain is kind of iffy, not gonna lie. Wanted to mention that as well. And of course, Call to Arms and random plus skill. Torch and an any. I don't even remember what all those small charms are. Probably just some resistance stuff. Yeah, random small charms. They do not make or break the build. Okay. Is there a budget variant to this? Honestly, yes. Set. There's an Amazon set. I'm the biggest scrub when it comes to the Amazon, by the way. That's the class I've played the least. I only have this Amazon, and the other one was a multi-shot Amazon in Project Diablo 2. That's it. So there's this Amazon set with bow and stuff. It's super cheap within the trading community, since nobody wants that, right? Very few people play that build, and you can actually run the whole set and socket some random cold RBFs in every slot, like in the weapon, in the helm, and in the armor, and it's decent. It's actually decent. It works surprisingly well from what I've seen. That would be the budget variant, right? But yeah, other than that, you need a jar rune, you need a low rune, and you're good to go. When I didn't even had Enigma, nor Tura's Might, nor I was just using Treasury for the IS. Worked great as well. But yeah, let's talk about the skill tree for a second. So this is the main attack, Freezing Aura. This is a huge AoE. Does like makes like a little cloud when it on impact. I maxed out all the synergies for it. I tried not maxing Ice Aura, but turned out to be pretty good. You just want to have them frozen all the time. Like, just max it, even though it does not increase the damage of Freezing Aura. Yeah. Pretty much done for the skill tree. Not really though. Sometimes there are very rare occasions, even with Infinity, where I want even a little bit more damage. And I tried pretty much everything. I think I wasted all my skill quests plus 5 tokens I tried, I don't know, freezing arrow and multi-shot, freezing arrow and whatever. But I soon realized, as I mentioned like in the intro, it's not a physical build. And playing like an elemental and multi-shot, you have like 2 builds in one. So that's weak. I don't want to have a weak build. So I tried several, and I use freezing arrow and immolation arrow. This melts bosses, or rather, it's nice additional damage. Because you might have seen it in the intro and the cow level already, but I show it real quick again. So you would spam those. And then you drop an immolation arrow sometimes in between, right? And they stand in the flames. Yeah, and it racks up. It stacks up real bad. Makes a significant difference when fighting bosses and stuff. But I rarely use it. But it's there just in case. I maxed this. And I put remaining points into exploding arrow to bring up the damage more. That's pretty much it. I don't even know why I have 1 point in guided arrow. That's useless. Yeah. Max this tree, max immolation arrow, put a few more points into exploding arrow. Now, oh yeah, nothing into javelin, right? That's a total different build. Never played this build, by the way. People tell me since the time I started playing Diablo 2 back in school, that's the best build in the game. Play it, play it. I don't even bother. I never played this, and I never played a Hammerden. For whatever reason. I don't know. I just dislike those both. I just dislike both class fantasies. And I'm well aware that those two are probably the best builds in the entire game. But I haven't played them. Passive skills. Some people get confused here when the first time play an Amazon. So did I. But it's actually fairly simple. Put 1 point into everything. That's it. Thanks to Razortail. Thanks to the belt. The Pierce is maxed out. Let me buff up real quick so I don't talk smack. It's 71. And you have like 30 something from the belt. Boom. There's 100% Pierce. So 1 point in every passive is perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. The stat point allocation and the sheet damage real quick. So freezing arrow is around 4k, immolation arrow around 2k. This is a vitality only Amazon build, because I don't even have to bother about attack rating. Like elemental damage deals its damage regardless of attack rating, so other than that it's maxed out. Of course, just on a random monster against Dclone this looks way different. But yeah, I have enough strength and dex in order to wear my gear and random points into vitality. Here's the, like, it's almost 50% additional code damage. It's 1% off because I don't have perfect facet in my helm, I think. Yeah, and 30% code pierce from the bow. And this is a min roll as well, so you can get this even higher. This it says -20, I think -28 to -26 is max roll. Mercenary gear for a second. Of course, infinity. If you don't have infinity, I would use, since sustain is so horrible on this build, well, it's not, I take that back, it's not horrible. But since the sustain is kinda weird, I would use insight instead of infinity, right? So my mercenaries were infinity, fortitude, and a dream helm. Don't ask me why. Of course, this should be Andariel's or whatever. But yeah, the important part is the conviction aura. That's pretty much it for this video, guys. Maybe as a conclusion, the build was super fun and I will play it another season. It worked perfectly for a reason. I leveled it to farm any random T-zone that popped up without encountering an issue or monster I could not kill. Thanks for watching. Feel free to give the video a like and subscribe if you want to see more action RPG content, and I'll catch you in the next. Later!